Good evening and welcome. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most anticipated television events of the year, Vince Gilligan's long-awaited return to the small screen. The man who gave us Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is back, but this time, he's not dealing in meth labs or moral collapse. Instead, he's turned his lens toward the end of the world, or rather, the end of happiness itself. The new Apple TV Plus series Pluribus is being hailed as one of the boldest, strangest, and most unpredictable shows of the decade. It's part science fiction, part philosophical experiment, and part dark comedy, and it's got everyone asking one question: has Vince Gilligan done it again? Pluribus begins with a premise that sounds almost absurd. The most miserable person on Earth must save the world from happiness. But as always with Gilligan, what sounds like a joke is really a setup for something much deeper. The story centers on Carol Sturka, played by Better Call Saul star Rhea Seehorn. Carol is a bitter, world-weary author of speculative, historical romance literature, a genre she herself barely respects. When we meet her, she's trudging through a depressing book tour, snapping at fans, and drowning in self-loathing. Her only steady companion is Helen, her long-suffering partner and manager, played with grace by Miriam Shore. But before long, Carol's petty miseries are dwarfed by something cosmic, a mysterious countdown that may spell the end of humanity. From the first episode, Pluribus throws the viewer off balance. There's talk of encrypted signals from deep space, strange scientific experiments, and a creeping sense that something massive and unseen is coming. But Gilligan refuses to let the show settle into a single genre. Just when you think you're watching a traditional sci-fi thriller, the tone shifts. There's a burst of absurd humor, then a moment of quiet existential despair, then a flash of slapstick chaos. It's as though Severance, The Twilight Zone, and Fargo had collided in the deserts of New Mexico. And that's not a coincidence. Gilligan returns to his favorite setting, Albuquerque, using its lonely, sun-bleached landscape to remind us just how small and strange human existence can feel. Seehorn's performance is the engine that keeps Pluribus running. As Carol, she's sardonic, angry, and often cruel. Yet we can't look away. She mocks her fans for loving her work, scoffs at her success, and hides behind a wall of bitter sarcasm. But beneath the misanthropy is someone quietly terrified of connection, of meaning, of the world itself. When the apocalyptic event finally hits and reality begins to unravel, Carol becomes an accidental prophet, dragged into a mission she neither wants nor understands. The irony is delicious. A woman who despises people may now have to save them. And the deeper she goes, the more she and we start to wonder what saving really means. What sets Pluribus apart is its refusal to explain itself. There's no neat exposition, no clear villain, no easy answers. Gilligan and his writers drop clues and contradictions like breadcrumbs, forcing the audience to piece together their own meaning. Is the apocalypse real or psychological? Is the cosmic message truly from beyond or something created by human despair? These are the kinds of questions that made Breaking Bad so powerful. Moral puzzles wrapped in narrative suspense. But this time, Gilligan is aiming for something more abstract, almost spiritual. The series feels like a philosophical labyrinth, one where every corridor leads to another question about what it means to be human in a world increasingly ruled by machines and emotionless systems. There are moments when Pluribus feels eerily timely. Its themes echo the unease of our own age, artificial intelligence, loneliness, the commodification of happiness. The show plays with the idea that perhaps humanity's biggest threat isn't destruction, but enforced bliss, a world so engineered for comfort that it drains us of purpose. Carol's bitterness becomes oddly heroic in this context. Her refusal to just be happy turns into a form of rebellion. And through her, Gilligan invites us to question whether constant positivity is another form of control. It's clever, provocative, and very Gilligan. The moral inversion, the gray zone where cynicism might be the last act of truth. Technically, Pluribus is stunning. Its cinematography captures both the grandeur and absurdity of its world. Sterile labs, lit in ghostly blues, desert highways stretching toward nowhere, and surreal visions that border on the hallucinatory. The score hums with unease, oscillating between minimalist electronica and moments of orchestral dread. Every frame feels intentional, yet just slightly off-kilter, mirroring Carol's disorientation. And yet, for all its visual ambition, the show never loses its sense of humor. There are moments so bizarre they border on parody. A slapstick chase, a romantic subplot involving AI fanfiction, even a drunken monologue that veers from tragic to ridiculous. It's a tonal tightrope, and somehow, it works. Critics are calling Pluribus one of the most unpredictable shows of the streaming era, and for good reason. Every episode seems to reinvent itself. Part thriller, part satire, part metaphysical riddle. The first 7 of 9 episodes were made available to reviewers, and even seasoned TV analysts admit they can't predict where it's heading. That unpredictability might frustrate some viewers, especially those used to neat resolutions. But for others, it's exhilarating. In a television landscape often accused of playing it safe, Pluribus feels like a rebellion. It asks its audience to think, to feel uneasy, and to question their own assumptions about storytelling. It's not comfort food, it's a cinematic experiment disguised as entertainment. As the series barrels toward its conclusion, one thing is clear. Vince Gilligan has once again reshaped the boundaries of what television can do. Pluribus may not reach the cultural saturation of Breaking Bad, but it doesn't need to. It's weirder, riskier, and far more introspective, a reflection of a creator unafraid to challenge both his viewers and himself. And at its core, it's powered by Rhea Seehorn's astonishing performance, one that turns a miserable, misanthropic novelist into an unlikely mirror for our own contradictions. Maybe that's Gilligan's greatest trick, making us root for the person who hates us most. In a world chasing happiness at all costs, Pluribus dares to ask, what if unhappiness is the only thing still keeping us human?